Good morning, everyone. This is Season 1, Episode 4 of Wake Up, Smell the. And it's a Christmas miracle because Lady Lazybones right here finally woke up and decided to be a part of the show for once. For now, not anymore. So today what we're going to be doing is bread pudding. And as always, the Instagram is Wake Up Smell the, all big letters for each new word. And the email for me is wakeupsmellthe@gmail.com, all little letters. Today I'm going to be doing the savory version of bread pudding, but there are multiple versions of it. I think the majority of them are sweet though. So I couldn't find very many historical facts when it came to it, but I did find a bunch of different ways that people did it in other cultures. So in Belgium, they do brown sugar, cinnamon, and raisin and apple, which I feel like is one of the more like traditional ones that we all know. In Hungary, or Hungary, I don't know which one it is, but I hope I'm getting it right. In Hungary, it's whipped egg whites on top. In Puerto Rico, they soak it in coconut oil and put a rum sauce over top of it. That one sounded really good to me. And then, of course, in Canada, they put maple syrup on it. So, my thank yous for this week, as always, are my ma and pa. And my quote of the week comes from my boy, John Cena. When the time comes when you don't believe in yourself, there's the door. Get the hell out. Let's cook some food. So, like I said before, we're going to be doing a savory version of it here. I actually have the correct recipe this time. Last week I accidentally did meatballs. Well, I did meatballs on purpose, but I accidentally put the recipe up for the dumplings from the week before, chicken and dumplings from the week before. And as you can see, we're going to be doing a heavy cream and egg base or binder, which you can use a lot of different things with that. You almost always are going to use some sort of egg or egg substitute and a liquid in the form of cream or milk or even a stock. There's a few recipes out there I saw that mostly involve when you're using mushrooms and kind of heavier herbs when you're doing the chicken stock to make it all really, really savory. But I'm going to be using the cream and egg today with a few different spices to bring out what I think would be good of a combination with the squash and the cranberries and the pecans. Coffee's starting to kick in, so the stuttering has begun also. So yeah, let's get started on it. I'm going to cut the bread first. So over here I have our mountain of old bread. This was kind of all in the freezer, and it started to really, really clutter the bad boy up. So I pulled out all this and put it into the fridge overnight to let it defrost. And then I put it into the oven this morning while I was shooting earlier to kind of get it a little more dry so it would soak up that binder a little more. So I have burger buns and heels of our bread. I don't know what you guys call it. I've always called them heels, but when I say that, sometimes to people, they go, "Oh, you must be from, you know, blah, blah, blahville." But that's what I call them, is the heel. And then our hot dog buns, top slice. If you don't use top slice, we can't be friends. And quite frankly, you need to go find Jesus, because top slice is the best. And we're going to chop these into small dice and get it ready for the binder. So I've got my 6 cups-ish of diced breadcrumb diced. How do you dice the breadcrumb? Come on. Of diced bread. It is more of like a medium. I said small earlier. I apologize. I lied to you. And I kind of eyeballed it. I'm not going to sit here with a cup measure and measure out 6 cups of bread diced. And I think you should try to move towards that too, and use recipes more as kind of almost like a treasure map where you're following a little bit of a loose idea to get somewhere, as opposed to this thing you need to have stapled to your forehead and just like look at and just be consumed by. You want to take that boredom and squash it. And with that being said, our segue into dicing our squash, both Acorn and Butternut. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now. Alright, so when it comes to the butternut squash, what I like to do is kind of start from the whole thing. When you do things like squash or like watermelon or just bigger things that you're going to need to dice that are these big kind of wobbly weird shapes, you want to start from the top or whatever bottom, as long as you're just completely getting that skin off of it. And I do it from the whole as opposed to cutting it in half. And when you're done doing this, then you don't have to worry about all these different small crevices and curves you're going to have to do. This just kind of takes care of it all in one fell swoop. And then we're going to cut and chop it down here from the neck and the bulb and cut that off into dices. Now with the acorn squash, it is a little bit more of a pain because of all these little ridges, but it's still kind of the same kind of concept. I'm gonna go ahead and peel the parts that are out like that, and then we'll chop, and kind of every time we can chop, we can get in between these segments and peel them as we go. And then once you can finally make each one into kind of its own little section, then you can dice it a lot easier. So we have to make a cast change because this peeler is really just not even coming close to cutting it. So peeler will now be played by the part of peeler. So we've got all of our squash cut right here, and now we're just going to do half of this for this recipe now, and I'm going to put the rest of it away for something for dinner in a couple of days. But this is both the acorn and the butternut mixed together, and it's okay to saute them together because they're about the same size and toughness. So now we're going to do the thyme, 1 teaspoon. I'm not even going to chop it up. I'm just going to take it off of the stem and leave it whole. And for the cranberries and the pecans, I actually just bought this. It's a salad topper, and it's almost the right amount that I need, because pecans in a tin and cranberries in a bag are so expensive combined. But one of these bad boys didn't cost very much. And to prepare this, I'm going to open the bag. So let's spin some multiple plates. We've got our squash over here. We're gonna put that into the rondeau over there. And the rondeau is hot. I put some oil in it already. Remember to have that oil in to get hot also, because if you just have a hot pan, you put cold oil into it and then put stuff in immediately, then it's just pointless for what you've just done. In the middle, we've got our heavy cream, our cinnamon, and our 2 eggs. I'm going to be putting that into this measuring cup that has the nice way for me to see. I'm going to be doing the 2 cups and then adding stuff on top and easily mix it in there. I really like this OXO or OXO measuring cup. I don't really remember the name of the brand or know the name of the brand, but I really enjoyed it. I'm not sponsored by them yet. This is the camera that I use for the cutting board too, so if you ever see it in the shot, I'm sorry. I know some people might think it's a faux pas that you show the camera inside of another camera shot, but I don't give a rat's patootie. So, that being said, let's cook some squash and get this base ready. So it's been about 30 to 35 minutes at 350, and this bad boy is ready to go. I've let it cool. I'm gonna need a counter in the corner to count how many times I say bad boy for some reason. I never say that ever in real life, but for some reason today, that's the word of choice. All right, well, we're gonna flip it over, get it out of here, and then slice it up into nice chunks. Alright, so that was season 1, episode 4 of Wake Up Smell your bread pudding. And if you stayed this long, thank you very much for watching another one of my videos. And next week I will be taking off because we're going to South Carolina for Christmas. So happy holidays, and thank you for joining me again. And you came, you sauteed, you conquered.